In part 4 of our series on learning to play Osprey game Zona Alpha, we are going to cover movement. In the previous video, we discussed the 3 actions that involve moving your model: move, climb, and jump. The move action. The model or unit moves up to its movement stat in inches. When performing any type of move action, you will measure from the front of the model's base to the rear of the model's base. This is unusual in most miniature wargames as it adds the width of the base to the move. Movement does not have to be in a straight line, neither is the unit required to use its full move. A model can turn at any point during their movement and end facing in any direction. This means they can use your ruler to make short, straight line hops, or use some flexible means to measure. So if I want to curve there, and you can end facing in any direction. There is no rough ground rule. Your model can move up and down a level or go up slopes without modifying the distance rate. So since there's no rough ground, your model can approach this wall. The wall is under an inch high and it moves over it easily without any penalty to movement. The climb action. Certain complex terrain features will affect a unit's movement and require the unit to expend additional movement to go around, through, or over. If you run into a terrain feature that is a vertical surface over 1 inch tall, such as the side of a building or this blast wall, or say a cliff face, you'll have to use a climb action. The amount of distance a climb action can go is half the model's standard movement. So for example, most models can move only 6 inches, which means a model can only travel 3 inches using the climb. So in the game, you use your move action to get to this vertical surface, the wall, and then use your climb action to get the 3 inches to get up to the second floor of the building. To climb something like the blast wall will require 2 climb actions because the blast wall is higher than 3 inches. Once again, this does not apply to stairs or ladders or the slopes of hills. Only 1 inch vertical walls, so this would not apply. Those are traversed at the model's standard movement rate. The jump action. The jump action allows the model to jump a horizontal gap up to 2 inches wide for the cost of 1 action. So we look at the individual on the second floor of this building. If he wants to jump to that floor, we'll measure. We can see that it's under 2 inches. So he would use a move to get there. He would execute the jump and end up right there. Jumping beyond 2 inches requires a move action prior to the jump and a skill check, with the target number being the model's unit will stat. So for example, let's say this was farther than 2 inches. This model would execute a move, get to the corner. You'd say, I want to execute a jump action. You'd roll your d10. 4 is under this model's will, so it would jump up to its move distance and land here. Now this creates an issue of if you have a rookie player that only has 1 action, that means in the round he'd have to move, the round would have to conclude, and at the next round he could execute a jump and then be done. Now there are no rules for falling in games of Zona Alpha, so if you fail the will stat, what happens is your model moves to the edge. You would roll, say something like a 7, the model just stays right there. It doesn't say the model falls. Actually, there is no real rules for falling in this game. You use the recover action to recover from falling, but there's actually no rules for falling. So that might be something you want to homebrew up in your group. So thank you for joining us with this episode on movement, and we'll see you next time.